Hello and welcome to the Ready to Bloom podcast with your host Holly Worton. Ready to Bloom helps heart-centered women entrepreneurs to overcome their fears, blocks and limiting beliefs so they can be more successful in business. As a heart-centered business owner, you do amazing work. Holly's mission in life is to help you help more people. Help us help more women in business with a quick review of this podcast. It just takes a minute to leave one today over at iTunes. The more women who find out about this podcast, the more we can help women in business. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Ready to Bloom podcast, episode 76. This is your host, Holly Worton, and I've got something a little different for you today. First of all, I need to address the name change for this podcast. Now, some of you may know that my business has been going through a complete transformation over the past couple of months, and my new website went live just before Christmas in late December. So that means that I've rebranded this podcast to coincide with my new business name, which is Ready to Bloom. So that's what the name change is all about. Just wanted you to know that if you're expecting the Socially Holistic podcast, you're in the right place. I'll be continuing this year with the same format I've been using for the past 75 episodes. So you'll have interviews with amazing and inspiring women in business. Now, every once in a while, I will show up with a solo episode like this one, or maybe different. So today's podcast is going to be something completely different from anything I've done before on this show. It's a total experiment, so I'm going to need to hear back from you as to whether or not you'd like more episodes like this or not. So please email me or just get in touch via the contact form on my website and let me know what you think. My inspiration for this episode came as I was doing my morning exercises. Now, I've been doing a lot of work lately around planning my life and my business for the new year, and I wanted to create a visualization that would help you get clear on what you want for the new year. So, here's how it's going to go. We're going to start out by getting into a relaxed state, and then I will guide you into visualization for the new year. So just relax and go with the flow. About halfway through, I will ask you to start writing things down. So get a paper and pen or computer handy so you can make notes. And of course, please do not listen to this if you're out and about, driving, walking, running, at the gym, anywhere where you need to be active. You're going to want to find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed for the next half hour or so. Now, the recording will probably be less than a half an hour, but you'll need about that time to answer all the questions. So, are you ready? Let's get started. So get settled in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. You can sit or lie down, whatever is most comfortable for you. Once you get settled in, just allow yourself to relax. Let all the tension you may be feeling just melt away. Once you're feeling more relaxed, begin to focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in and hold, then release and hold. Another deep breath in, hold, and release. Now allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Bring your focus to how your breath enters and exits your body. Feel yourself relax more and more each time you exhale. Now envision a waterfall of white light just above your head. Imagine the white light flowing down from the top of your head, all down your body, trickling down your spine and your back, and down the front of your body as well. Now imagine the light entering your body through the top of your head, flowing down the inside of your body, filling it with bright white light. You can sense this light filling your legs, your torso, flowing up and down into your arms, and up your neck into your head. Once your body is filled with the bright white light, you can feel it start to flow out of your heart, and the white light forms a bubble all around you, protecting and relaxing you, leaving you feeling ready to go within to explore your desires for the new year. You begin to ask yourself a series of questions. Just relax and allow the information to come to you. We're just visualizing at this point. There's no need to write anything down. So just allow yourself to get as clear of an experience as you can. And ask yourself, what's your big vision for the new year? What do you want to experience? What are your goals for the new year? Then we're going to fast forward to the end of the year, a year from now. And let's assume that you've achieved all of these goals and you've lived your dreams in the new year. Your big vision has come true. What will you see yourself doing that will allow you to know that your dreams really did come true? So just envision yourself living this dream. What do you see? If you don't see anything, that's fine. Just go with whatever pops into your mind when these questions are asked. Envision what you'll have in your life a year from now that you don't have today. Envision who you'll be. How will you be different? And what things will still be the same about you? What will you hear people saying about you when they're talking about you? What will you be saying to yourself, either out loud or in your head? How will you feel once this big vision has come true and you've achieved all of your goals? Have you ever felt this feeling before at any time in your life? If so, think back to that moment and get in touch with that feeling. And if not, just try to imagine what it would be like. So really get in touch with that feeling. Where in your body do you feel this feeling the most? This feeling has a color. What color is it? The feeling has a shape. What shape is it? The feeling has a temperature. What temperature is it? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it warm? The feeling has a texture. What texture is this feeling? Really get in touch with this vision that you have for the new year. What you're seeing, hearing, what you're feeling. Now turn up the dial on all of these sensations, the vision, the sound, the feelings. Really get into it. Ask yourself, what would it mean for you if you could achieve all this? What would this big vision for your life and for your new year allow you to do, or to be, or to have that you're not doing or being or having now? Now take that intense experience of your big vision for the new year. Take it with you and slowly open your eyes. Pick up your pen and paper and try to stay in that relaxed state as much as you can. Just get ready to start writing or typing on your computer. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You may find it useful to make note of your answers. I'm not going to leave you much time in between questions, so this time just pause the recording after each question so that you have time to write down your answers, and take as much time as you need. So, who do you need to become to achieve this experience and these goals related to your big vision for the new year? Who do you need to become to make this happen? Just pause the recording and write whatever comes to mind. Just free write. What do you need to learn about yourself to achieve this vision? What do you need to let go of to achieve your big vision for the new year? Are there any limiting beliefs or negative self-talk that you need to let go of? You know, those voices we get in our head saying, you're not good enough, you can't do that, everyone else does it better. What kinds of things like that do you need to let go of? Is there anything that you need to believe about yourself in order to achieve this vision for the new year? Is there anything else that needs to change for you to live and experience this big vision for your new year? Now, how committed are you to making the changes you need to make to achieve this big vision for the new year? Maybe think about it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being as committed as you can possibly be, and 1 being not committed at all. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to making the changes you need to make so that you can achieve this year of your dreams? What else might get in your way of achieving this big vision? Now let's talk about how would you feel by the end of the new year if you hadn't created this experience for yourself? How would you feel if you hadn't achieved these goals by the end of the new year? How would you feel if this big vision never happened? And how would you feel a year from now, by the end of the new year, if things were exactly the same as they are today, nothing had changed, and nothing had helped you move toward your big vision? Now, can you think of any adverse consequences to achieving this goal of your big vision for the new year? Just write them down, no matter how strange or silly they might seem. Sometimes we experience something called secondary gain, which is where we actually benefit from not resolving a problem or making changes. And I know that sounds silly, but we do it. And if you think back to challenges that you've had in your life, you might be able to imagine where you've had some secondary gain. So thinking again forward to this big vision you've got for the new year, is there any way in which you actually might benefit from not taking the action or making the changes to achieve your dream year? Sometimes staying in our comfort zone is easy. It's not so comfortable, but it's better than making those big changes and taking the action we need to take. So maybe it's just easier for you to stay in your comfort zone. Maybe there's something that you're afraid of. Maybe you're afraid of how your life would change if you really do achieve this big vision. Just write down anything that comes to mind. Now let's go back to your big vision for the new year. Is it achievable? Yes or no? Are you excited about it? Does it really light you up inside when you think about it? Yes or no? And does it feel aligned with your energy? Yes or no? Now, one last question. What is the number one belief that you need to change to make this big vision for the new year happen? Write this down. Please pause the recording now and write this down. The number one belief that you need to change to make this happen. Now, I'm a big fan of changing beliefs at the subconscious level. My new business is all about helping women entrepreneurs create the business of their dreams by transforming the beliefs and blocks that hold them back. The technique that I use is fast, easy, and really powerful. Originally trained in this myself about 1.5 years ago, back in 2013, to help myself with the stuff that came up as I was running my business, the fears, the blocks, limiting beliefs, all that stuff. And it was so life-changing for me that I realized I needed to completely change the focus of my business so that I could use this technique as the main focus of how I worked with women in business. So if you've got a preferred technique for changing beliefs at the subconscious level, please use that tool for working on this top belief that you need to change so that you can experience your big vision for the new year. Now, maybe it's NLP, maybe it's EFT, tapping, maybe it's hypnotherapy, maybe it's Psych K, which is the technique that I use. Whatever it is, plan to either get help with a therapist or practitioner or facilitator, or do the work yourself if you already have trained in one of these techniques. Because sometimes taking conscious, inspired action just isn't enough. There are times when we do all the right things, we follow all the advice that our business coach or our business mentor gives us, but yet for some reason it just doesn't happen. And oftentimes that's because we're holding ourselves back at the subconscious level. So make sure that you do whatever it takes so that your whole mind is on board with this vision that you've got for your new year. Good luck! And please send me an email or a message via the contact form on my website or get in touch on social media and let me know what you thought of this guided journey. And if you'd like to share your number one belief that needs to change, please do so. And you can do that publicly, privately, whatever you prefer. I would love to hear it. And I would also like to take this moment to wish you a happy, healthy, and successful new year, full of inspired action and with a subconscious mind that's on board with your conscious vision. Thank you for listening, and remember to visit readytobloom.com/76 for the show notes on this episode. Now, I'm fully aware that the URL is a little bit tricky for this new website, but I've had it for years and I absolutely love it. So it's ready2bloom.com. So again, that's the number 2 rather than the word TO. So readytobloom.com/76. And if you like, please leave me a comment in the show notes about what you thought of today's format for the episode. Definitely would not do this every week. It would be something like maybe once every couple of months or once a month. But let me know what you think, good or bad, and that way I'll know how to proceed. So I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful, and please let me know in the show notes comments. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thanks so much for listening to the Ready to Bloom podcast with your host, Holly Worton. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to head over to iTunes and leave us a quick review of this podcast. Thank you.